Fast forward, you come over channel association as well as Halsey a GH Politics Avenue. Political stories are trying to make waves, make headlines, and a Jemre and ADB Exomo El Haxi. At this point in time, how we see this way hot in Yasem Kotua Kram. Now, Mr. Xe and ADD Kaya, Wishamia, Mami Moa Kwabe. Subscribe to the channel, hit on notification bell, share now for front to answer into me. Can you make sure you can say why it's Eddie Amami. Now, Mami info in a political training, Egypt to Enyasem Kotua Kra. Fast forward, Mustafa Abdul Hamid. So, when you ono ma project ni picture the out screen so no ono na oye former NPA boss under Nana Addo Akuffo Addo's administration na OSP kusi eja ben na meno kase wetimi a charge papa no in 10 others over 280 million Ghana city corruption allegation enyaksem go to Accra na Kiana King July 23rd 2025 and ameno kase OSP etimi arrange oni omo aka se omo edi omo ebeko Accra High Court enye aksem go to Accra na enhwe en taxi hodoa OSP itimi ede ebo papa based on corruption allegation otimi raise against Mustafa Abdul Hamid ene afufra aka na Mustafa de na make ho asem sisi enti Mustafa one count yede bo no conspiracy to commit extortion. 2 extortion by public officer and using public office for profit. And when you could wire the above papano omaka on 23rd July 2025 ombetimi akokot na akwakoyi ano enya aksem koto Accra na at this point in time semre bobo ransem na yadom asuko Halsey GH Politics Avenue
has been put out by the OSP because I want you to talk about that.
No, we did that.
Let's do that at the end of it.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Now tell us what's happening with,
so
with
25 charges against 10 persons. So we just want our viewers to appreciate who is being charged for what exactly so that we can put those things in proper context. So Mustafa Abdul Hamid, former CEO NPA, he has been charged with 3 counts, one having to do with conspiracy to commit extortion by a public officer, and using public office for profit. Mind you, generally, the charges are on extortion, using public office for profit, and then money laundering. In his case, he has not been charged with any issue of any matter with respect to money laundering.
But the OSP did accuse him of being the mastermind of the scheme.
Yes, of this scheme, precisely so. And then you have the next person, Jacob Kwamina Amwa. He has a total of 18 charges, and they largely are conspiracy to commit extortion, using office for profit, money laundering, and 8 counts of conspiracy to launder money. So you would see that in his case, there's an additional charge of money laundering and its conspiracy as well. There's also Wendy Newman, Staff Audit Department, NPA, 10 charges in all. 1 conspiracy to commit extortion, using office for profit, 7 counts of conspiracy to launder money. In there too, there's the money laundering element of it. 2 charges against Albert Ankra, Director, Popnest Limited, counts 8 and 10. That's conspiracy to commit money laundering via Popnest, which he's a director of. We're also looking at Isaac Mensah, 3 charges in all, conspiracy to launder money via the same company we have seen in the previous one, Popnest, and King's Energy. So he has an additional money laundering charge in relation to King's Energy as well. 6 charges against Bright Bediako Mensah. He's the CEO of Popnest, KEL Logistics, and King's Energy. Conspiracy to commit money laundering via Popnest, KEL, and then King's Energy. 6 counts in all. 5 counts against Kweku Ebwaji Akwa, Director, KEL Logistics and King's Energy. In his case, 5 counts of conspiracy to launder money. Now, these are the artificial persons, the companies. Popness, 2 charges against that company, conspiracy to launder money. In the case of Care Logistics, 4 counts, and that is in respect of conspiracy to launder money as well. And also in King's Energy, that is conspiracy to launder money in respect of one charge. But mind you, yesterday, as we did indicate, lawyers for Mustafa Hamid have been fighting back this particular issue. They say that their client is guilty, he's ready to take his day in court and to assert his innocence. They make reference to how the money started off as 1.3 billion, and now they are being held for some 280 million Ghana cedis. So that, in essence, is what is being
So, I mean,
continued.
of the 10 suspects, he's the only one who's written to deny the accusations. One of the things he said, no charge sheet has been presented to him. We know that today we are seeing copies of the charge sheet.
Properly filed. It's one thing,
indeed.
the charge sheet being filed, and another being served on the suspects. So we are, as we speak, we are unaware whether or not they've actually been served.
Does that make a difference to the case, whether or not it will be heard on Wednesday?
No, that does not make a difference. But that was in response to
From him.
the issues that were raised yesterday as to being served a charge sheet or not.
Or not, indeed. And you know, as part of the details in this charge sheet, the OSP, again, we've gone back and forth on it as news people, but also we hear from some think tanks about why, maybe not why, but they're raising questions about the strength of the case the OSP is presented on the face of the charge sheet. What are the concerns being raised?
Well, so the concern generally has to do with the nature of the charges. So when you look at how charges are presented, usually you have what we call the particulars of offense, in which they indicate exactly what you have done for which you are brought before the law court. They'll tell you, for instance, you came in on this particular day, you did A to person, you did this to person A at this day and this time. They give you the specifics, so you know exactly what you're responding to. The concern generally is that when you look at the charge sheet and some of the charges that have been preferred against these persons, it does not give you such specifics. And that in itself also find some reflection in the statement that was issued by the lawyers of Dr. Hamid, where they make references to the fact that from unnamed victims, you see, where they talk about now focusing on extortion from some unnamed victims. So, for instance, when you look at the charge sheets, even though there are allegations of extortion, it does not tell when the extortion was done, on who exactly, and even the scheme itself, how it was.
The how.
The how of the scheme, you don't find it expressly on the face of the charge sheet. And that's what some people have already started analyzing it and making references to some of the practices that we have
I mean,
seen.
before you get in that, I have made the argument that the who of it seems to have been taken care of, because as industry people, if they got to the charge sheet and it's talked about BOST and OMCs, these are identifiable entities. I don't suppose that the members of BOST and OMC...
BOST, yes. OMCs...
OMCs are an organization.
But there are many.
And I agree. Yes. And you know, like I've said before, I don't suppose that they individually work directly with the NPA, assuming that all that has been said is true. I don't expect that the scheme would have had direct relationship with individual members OMC, in that they could have said so-and-so oil and so-and-so oil, so-and-so person with so-and-so oil. So
we're
not going to have that argument.
So the concern has been that, so with charges, usually you want to particularize to give the clearest sense ever. So for instance, if somebody were to steal from the two of us, it's not okay for you to say somebody stole from Kemini and her producer. Well, so it's okay to say that on this day at this time, you stole from Kemini.
But the question then is, if I don't deal directly with the producer, but I deal with a team called Ghana Tonight, it's hard. So, you know, it's the same situation I'm making here.
As an entity. However, you need to now show how that stealing was done.
And that's the point I'm making.
So they stole from Kevin, they stole from Dennis, they stole from Alfred.
That's the point. So the point.
National stance and pursuant to your mandate under the Iyoko Act 2010 Act 804, the Attorney General says he's directing Iyoko to invite these persons named in recent credible reports for interrogation, namely Mr. Yakubu Abanga and then Mr. Joseph Yamin, the two pictured on your screen. And let's end with what he says, which I've been mentioning, the widening of the scope of investigation to include Professor Frimpong Boateng's report. Remember him, a former minister in the first term of former President Nana Addo Akufo, who detailed to great lengths persons he believed to have been negatively inhibiting the fight against the illegal mining. He had that report, which became a subject of huge media debate amongst many other things. The president at the time said the report had not come to his table after media pressure and all of that. They said what? There wasn't enough evidence to allow for investigation into the content of the report by Professor Frimpong Boateng. Well, the Attorney General says what? Iyoko, look into the report as put together by Professor Frimpong Boateng, because as part of the investigations we're asking you to do into these two persons, we want you to widen the scope and include the details as captured in this report by Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. And so that's what we know as per the directive from the Attorney General late last night, which we caught wind of and brought details of it to you, to Iyoko. And investigations now are expecting them to have already kick-started and are proceeding. But we know that one of the many individuals as listed, Mr. Yakubu Abanga, has already been speaking, and we'll get details from him for you shortly. But let's go on to the phone lines right now and speak to the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Dr. Ken Ashigbe. He's also the convener of the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey. Thank you very much, Doc, for speaking to us. Your thoughts on this directive by the Attorney General to Iyoko?
So the point is that I'm speaking as the convener for the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey. And, you know, if you look at one of the major issues that we've been hammering on is the elephant in the room has always been the politically exposed persons who are involved in this obnoxious thing. And so we've been talking about the need to deal with it. And so we are very happy that this is what has happened, because there's a lot of evidence that abounds that the politically exposed persons are involved in this. And the interesting thing is that currently what we are faced with is the situation where both those who claim to be NDC and NPP are joined to the hip, and both of them are involved in this particular thing. So when the Attorney General, you know, has asked for Mr. Yakubu Abanga and Mr. Joseph Yamin to be investigated, and then also not only that, does not leave it only at that, also raises the issues around Professor Frimpong Boateng's report. It is in the right direction.
Right.
And yes.
Right. Doc, thankfully, Mr. Yakubu Abanga, one of the persons as captured in this directive by the Attorney General, has joined us on the other line. Let's go to him right now and pick his thoughts. Thank you very much, Mr. Abanga, for speaking to us. You've been named by the Attorney General, Zax Iyoko, to investigate you. How do you respond to the allegation that you're involved in illegal mining, actively fighting against what your own government is seeking to stop?
Thank you very much, my brother, for the opportunity. And sorry, my battery, I've had several calls, engagement with the media.
Right.
And of course, so my phone actually ran down, and I had to quickly call back to get you. So thank you for the opportunity once again. Let me state unequivocally and without reservation that I have never been involved in any illegal mining activity at any point in my life or behind any task force. These allegations, my brother, are baseless, malicious, and calculated attempts to tarnish my heart and reputation, my brother.
By who?
Well, by whoever is behind, anyway, my brother. So, and let me tell, as a law-abiding citizen who believes in due process and the rule of law, I'm ready to cooperate fully with IOCO or any legal mandated investigative body as whatever the whatever request IOCO may make, but also to put it clear that I've stated and will continue to state categorically clear that I, Abanga Yakubu Hassan, will put my position in line, the vice chairman position. If anybody is able to confirm that he has given me money based on forming task forces with Honorable Joseph Yamin, to stored money from them, and that they brought me money, or I'm engaged in the destruction of our water bodies and the forest reserve in Galamsey activities.
Mr. Banga, are you still with us? Oh, fear that his phone may have gone off, because at the start of that interview he mentioned that he was running on a low battery. But let's return to Dr. Ken Ashigbe. And Doc, you're just hearing one of the persons who's been captured in this directive by IOCO state unequivocally that he has nothing to do with Galamsey and is putting his position on the line. What then becomes the honors on IOCO going into an investigation like this, having persons coming onto the media stating unequivocally that they haven't engaged in any illegal mining activity at all?
Well, I did not expect him to say any, I don't think anybody would implicate himself on the media about this thing. So that is the reason why the Attorney General has written to the IOCO. IOCO has all the investigative powers. They have all the investigative ability. What I would urge in this particular situation is that there should be collaboration of all the investigative and the law enforcement agencies, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, NID, the police, and I also would urge every Ghanaian citizen who has any knowledge about any of these issues, not only the two people mentioned, but also we also have the NDC MP for our win, who we are petitioning the president on, who his chiefs accused of being involved in Galamsey. There is the NDC constituency chairperson for Axim area as well. There's also the NDC constituency chairperson for Dungo. And then we bleed, and then there's Akunta Mining. Akunta Mining, there are two directors. Only one director was arrested. We need to ensure that the second director is also arrested, and that case should go to court.
Right.
Then if you take the Frimpong Wanting report, there are several people who are in Jubilee House who are mentioned in all of that. We need to be actively looking into that. And I'll urge all journalists, every citizen who has any information, let's go under the Whistleblowers Act and let's provide this information to the IOCO to ensure that this prosecution should happen. And I'll urge the journalists under the Media Coalition Against, let's focus on this and make sure that we're getting updates from IOCO so that it would deter all of those other people who are also involved in the illegality.
Doc, thank you very much for speaking to us. That's Dr. Ken Ashigbe. Let's return to Mr. Yakubu Abanga. Thankfully, he's returned over the phone lines with us. Mr. Abanga, you were making it clear that because there are two allegations against you. One, that you're engaged in illegal mining activities. The second is that you, along with Mr. Yamin, by the small-scale miners, have put up a rogue anti-Galamsey tax force, extorting monies from them. You are seeking to explain that particular allegation.
My brother, thank you very much for the opportunity. And sorry once again because my phone keeps going off because of the battery. But as I stated, I want to state equivocably clear that without any reservation that I have never and will never be involved in any Galamsey mining activities at any point in my life,
right,
or behind any task force. These allegations, my brother, are baseless, malicious, just intended to impugn my heart and reputation.
Right,
my brother.
On the claim that you've never been engaged in any illegal mining activity, do you own a mining concession?
A mining what?
Do you have a mining concession in your name or in a company you
yes,
own?
I have a mining concession, but as you speak, my brother, I have no excavator working for me at anywhere. That is why I have stated clear that whoever has any evidence against me that I'm doing illegal mining, or I am destroying the forest reserve or the water bodies, or I have formed a task force that is going around to extort money for people, from people to me, I will forfeit my position as the national vice chairman of the party, my brother.
This allegation by the Small Scale Miners Association was made as at the 2nd of July.
And we ain't some who do cause watching on us. Woman was so Jim or had a sense of bad in the Adumia. We ain't shame na yen sign and summon a coincidence of Akroma.